It's your boy Atheon Crockett, and every time I come through the crib, NC, I rock with my boy DOC on the People's State Choice FM 92.1. Yeah,
Choice FM family, good morning to you all. It's the one and only, the big homie, DOC, coming reporting to you live from Choice FM studios. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest in the building, two very special guests in the building, representing North Carolina's iconic group. They go by the name of LB, that's Little Brother. Folks, we got Fonte and rapper Big Pooh in the building. We're celebrating 20 years of LB. What's going on, Pooh?
What's good, man? Good to be here.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having us, man.
Good to have you. Tell you how you feeling today, bro.
I'm good, man. I was telling you on the break. This is my first time being back in the station since before the pandemic.
The pandemic,
yeah,
that
man.
shook everything up.
Everything,
good.
but nah, it's good to be back, man. This is home for us.
It's good to have y'all here, man. Feel good to see your faces in station, man. It's first time meeting in person.
Yes,
man.
indeed. Yes,
for
indeed.
sure, man. We appreciate y'all for coming out. You got something important to celebrate. We got good things going on in Durham with the Made in Durham Little Brother NC Block Party. We got some good things to celebrate, man. 20 years.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely,
20
man.
years.
20 years, man. I mean, it feel like it's been, 2 years, but the grays on my chin tell me it's definitely been 20.
Nah, it goes by faster than you realize.
Absolutely, man. So, we celebrating, just wanted to celebrate in the city that, we started in, which was Durham, and with the Made in Durham block party.
Yes.
We got some friends we bringing along. Big Crit,
big friends. Yes,
cool
sir.
kids, Zoe, tall black guy.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Of course, Sam J, she hosting.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
Hourglass,
saying?
Wally Sparks spinning, 1
Yes,
and 2.
indeed.
Shout out to the squad. Get your tickets right now at littlebrothernc.com. Ladies and gentlemen, just to put y'all in the frame of mind, let's take a journey. 20 years ago, we had 50 Cent giving us Get Rich or Die Trying. We had in the NBA, LeBron James, D-Wade, Carmelo, CP3 going ahead and getting in there. We were introduced to artists like Amy Winehouse and the like. And then we had LB hit the scene. Little did we know there was a storm brewing in Durham, North Carolina at NCCU that was going to hit everybody over the head with hip-hop excellence, man. Like, how does it feel to know that y'all had such an impactful part on people like our owner of our station here, Chuck J, and myself? Like,
man,
what does that feel like?
Man, I think, you just never know when you're making something. You never know where it's going to go. And I think that's kind of one of the amazing things about making art is that once you release it, it is totally out of your control.
Yeah.
You have no control about how people are going to perceive it. You have no control if people are going to like it. You have no control if people are even going to understand it, you know what I mean, or misunderstand it. You just kind of let it go and you just see what happens. It very much is like, it's like having a child, you know what I mean, And so, man, for 20 years later, for us to now be in a space where we're even more celebrated and more honored now than we were even when we first came out. That was something that I don't think we saw when we first came out. When we was coming out, like, a record to come out and, after like about 3 months or whatever, it's like, it's old, it's over with. We didn't understand that, like, over time, the longer you stay in the game, your catalog grows. Man. And as long as you stay in the game and you keep showing up and delivering, over time, the audience, they will catch up with you, but you just have to have that perseverance just to stay in the game long enough. So when they do catch you, you got something to meet that moment with.
Exactly.
And that was why, we really wanted to put out the new singles we did, just because we wanted to show people that even though it's been 20 years, we're not leaning on nostalgia. We're not, let's take it back to this, and I want to go back.
Right. I'm so glad for that.
I was very broke back then. I don't want to go back to nothing. I don't want to. Do y'all know what's back there? I don't want to take it back. Like, that was a horrible time. But now
I'm only the most famous rapper
in your apartment complex. Like, come on,
we don't live in apartments.
We're not in apartments no more. I'm in your cul-de-sac now. I done moved up.
Oh, yes, indeed.
So bro. So it's just like that. We wanted to show people, like, listen, man, it's been 20 years, but we're very much still actively working on our craft and still working and getting better. And really, honestly, it feels like we just kind of getting started, which sounds crazy to say after 20 years. Oh, yeah, 100%.
Man.
Wow.
100%.
Okay, talk to me about that.
The crazy thing, like, I was last night, just looking at the feedback of the singles.
Yes.
And like for the past probably years since I did put out my solo album last year, like tell you, like I haven't been doing anything. Thank you.
Really?
I haven't been doing anything. Nothing writing, no nothing. But after you put out the single, I was like, yeah, man, I want to rap again.
Let me get back to it. Yeah.
I feel like rapping.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm getting warmed up. I feel it. So it's one of them things where, you know, we're not athletes. You know what I mean? Like, this is your mind it should get sharper as you age, and it feel like we're getting sharper as we age. We get more potent as we age.
Amen.
Yeah, I was reading an article with it was Martin Scorsese. He was talking about his new movie Killers of the Flower Moon that comes out, and he was saying, you know, it blew my mind. He said, you know, I'm at a point in my life. He said, well, I just now realized the power of cinema, but it's too late.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? This is the dude who made
That's
Goodfellas.
Scorsese, yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, he could have made Goodfellas or Casino and just said, I'm done. He could have dropped the mic with that. But, you know, for him being, you know, is who he is, and for him to be 83 years old and to say, I'm just now starting to realize what cinema can be, you know, it's crazy, you know, but I understand it because it's like, you know, I listen to the things that we do now, like things that we're able to do, like lyrically, writing wise, and listen to our first record. It's just like, yeah, that kid could have never did this.
That kid.
Like he had no clue. So I get it. You know, the older you get, you do kind of, hopefully you do get sharper, like Pooh said. And that's how we feel now. Then
that's incredible.
Yeah, just try to be an example for artists in the game of, you can get older in the game, you can mature. You don't have to leave the game. You just have to tailor the way you play the game to where you're at in your life.
Instead of banging in the paint, you go ahead and work.
Hey, listen, man.
Work on that turnaround.
Listen,
okay.
2 points is 2 points.
Hey, come on. Scoreboard.
A bucket is a bucket.
But sure, that's incredible because I was thinking about this the other day. Like, we, quarantine being one of them, we all have been hit with many resets in our life. So where we had to go ahead and just take what we learned and then just try again, break it down, try it again. Can you talk about one of those times outside of what we just mentioned for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, quarantine, bro. Like it allowed us to really take a step back. You know what I mean, and tend to the little brother garden. And you know, during that time, we were able to go and acquire the ownership of all our records except for
the Minstrel Show,
which is still owned by Rhino.
Oh wow.
No,
but we're working on that.
Okay.
We're working on it.
But just to be able to go back and now we have control of our catalog, so we have say so over what happens with what.
Nice.
That was real big. Like, without the pandemic, not saying we wouldn't have been able to do it, but I don't know if we would have been able to do it as fast as we did.
Okay.
And we wouldn't have been as attentive to it. Wouldn't have had the time. Yeah, I think the pandemic for me, it just, you know, particularly like with quarantine, it just really gave me a time to just slow down and really just kind of rest. I mean, we had been touring pretty much nonstop since 2002. You know what I mean?
Since you started?
Like, we never really took a break, you know what I mean? And so being at home, it just really gave me the time to realize, like, okay, how do I want to be spending my days? How do I want to spend my time? You know what I mean? And when me and Pooh, when we started looking at what we wanted LB to be in this kind of next iteration, that was when we decided, it's like, okay, how do we want to approach this now? Us trying to approach this the way we did in our 20s
won't work.
That's not going to work.
Not sustainable.
It's not
sustainable.
Okay.
Not sustainable.
100%. It's not sustainable. You know what I mean? But doing this the way that we do it, moving at our own pace, putting out records, you know, when we want to put them out, doing a block party in our city, like, those are things that we can truly curate,
right,
and things that we can design the way we want it to be and make it a great experience for everybody. And that's something that's sustainable for us, and that just feels a lot better.
That's incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, the voices that you hear coming from the iconic, legendary group known as Little Brother. We got Fonte and rapper Big Pooh, and of course yours truly, the one and only, the big homie DOC, right here on the People's Station. Fellas, if you would, go ahead and introduce this new joint that you got called Wish You Well, if you would, please.
Yeah, man. Wish Me Well, produced by Dionis Puma Cook out of Dallas.
Shout outs to Puma, man.
We just having fun, man, going back and forth, you know, trading off, you know, like so many great groups that
EPMD, Mobb Deep,
you know, in that vein. So, you know, we just wanted to have fun and get some bars off, man. Wish Me Well.
Introducing Hustle House Apparel, where style meets hustle. From comfortable streetwear to head-turning statement pieces, we got you covered for every occasion. But it's not just about the clothes. It's about embracing the hustle, the drive, and the ambition within you. Visit our Etsy store to explore our latest collection and take advantage of our limited time sales and discounts. Hustle House Apparel, where style meets hustle. Join the movement today.
Choice FM family, just like that, we right back at it. What you just experienced was a new joint by the iconic, the legendary group Little Brother. Right here in station with the boy, the one and only, the big homie DOC. We got Fontaine, rapper Big Pooh sitting right across from me. Fellas, what's going on with you?
You have a great radio voice, man.
Get out of here.
So he just be running them off. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, you're not in tune to the sound. Like classic radio guy. I love it,
that,
man. I love it.
I would attribute a couple of skits that I've heard on y'all's tracks to that as well. I would say that. I will say that proudly, for sure.
For
man.
sure.
Indeed. But okay, I appreciate that. We speaking of the joints, ladies and gentlemen, we're celebrating 20 years of the listening, 20 years of LB, 20 years of hip hop in Durham, hip hop in North Carolina.
Yeah,
that led the way to some incredible artists out here that are doing their daggone thing. But if you haven't got your tickets to Made in Durham, the Little Brother block party, go ahead and head to littlebrothernc.com. Get your merch, your tickets, everything that you need for October 7th. It's going down, baby.
Yes,
come on,
indeed.
hit us up. But we've been talking about the start. We talked about resets. We talked about a couple of different things. But I wanted to ask you brothers about your relationship with radio since the start. Because here at Choice FM, I know my guy Chuck J, who owns the station now, but he's been playing y'all since y'all started.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
2003. So along the past 2 decades, how has the relationship changed between Little Brother and radio stations?
Man, that's a great question. You start off.
Has it changed?
I think the fact that we're here shows it changed.
I mean, we definitely have our supporters in radio. And I mean, for us, radio never really played, I want to say a huge part in what we did, but we're definitely thankful, always been thankful for, the people like Chuck that definitely showed love and played our records, and brought us to the station. So, so the people can actually hear us. So it's for us, for the people that support and show love, we're thankful, and we definitely like to reciprocate that love and come and support the stations and the people that support us. And, but it's just one of them things for us was like, hey, back then, 2003, it was like, hey, we ain't getting played. Okay, what else we gonna do?
What else we got to do? Yeah. We just came at a time where, the industry was really shifting. And so, we were kind of the first group to go viral before anyone really even knew what viral was,
right?
Or even how to monetize it. You know what I'm saying? Bruh, right? Taste on, right? Straight up. Nah, for real. It was just, dude. It was one of them things where it was like it was kind of going off, but we came up at a time. This is pre-social media,
right?
So we had this big fan base, but we had absolutely no way to quantify it. We had no way to say, okay, well, I got 20,000 listeners on Spotify. I got 30,000 followers on IG. I got X amount of followers on Twitter. There was no way to to signify what your following was. So for us, it really was just us putting music out and, just kind of growing it online. And radio honestly was late. You know what I'm saying? They were kind of late to us. And so I think by the time, it's also too at the time when we were coming up, what was running radio at the time was very much, it was just snap records. It was like, lean with it, rock
counter
with it.
to what we were doing.
Yeah, it was no way. And I mean, and listen, I ain't, those records were those records. I mean, honestly, a lot of those records have probably aged better now than they even were back then. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
step hit hard right now.
Right, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So, I think it was like that. But for us, trying to make a record that fit into that kind of narrow scope, like if us trying to do that, it wouldn't have made sense for us.
Right.
And those are just the only kind of avenues you had back then in order to become to make it, quote unquote. If it wasn't going off on the radio, or if it wasn't going off on BET, MTV, you were left for dead. And we didn't really neatly fit into any of those categories back then. So we had to kind of find our own way. So with radio, it really just became it was less about radio, and it was more about just forming relationships with the DJs that was playing us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We wasn't really radio guys. We were DJ guys. Like, we would host mixtapes. We would do drops. we would just lock in with the dudes that was playing us. You know what I'm saying? And radio, we just looked at it like, all right, if they come around, they come around. But if they don't,
they don't.
We still moving either way.
Wasn't pressed for it.
Nah.
Perfect. Good deal. Because I know a lot of artists starting off, they want to get that radio joint. They feel like once they get it on there, which is still in effect to this day, don't you guys forget it, all right? We still be holding strong at the radio, but they feel like they have to. But we have introduction of, like you said, social media, marketing. We can figure out metrics nowadays.
Yeah.
So
when we started, when we was on Atlantic, there were like 2 people that worked the internet.
That was their internet
That was
department.
their internet department.
Yeah.
Shout out to Latrice Burnett. She over at Def Jam now. She was one of those. But it was
made a good move.
It was it was 2 people that worked in the internet department at the label. And now you go to a label and almost everybody works
That's
the
all
internet.
they do.
Right. You gotta have your internet.
Exactly. You got a whole TikTok department.
Right, like
you know
that's
what I mean?
your marketing plan. So TikTok,
Right.
Reels, like
We need it all.
we need it all, and so it just goes to show when we started to where it is now, and the difference in how I remember having meetings at the label, and they was like, "Man, y'all just have a whole fan base we can't see. We don't know how to reach them."
Yeah.
And it was just we don't know what to do with that.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't, and to be
I mean,
fair,
we didn't
either because I remember being in a meeting with Julie Greenwald, who is still, to this day, she's still like over at Atlantic. Her and Craig Coleman, and shouts to them. But I remember we had a meeting with Julie, and we brought in our new records, like of what we were working on.
What became Get Back,
our 3rd album, and we was just like, look, so like, what are y'all doing? What's up? And Julie's like, Fonte, I'm telling you, we just need content from you guys. We just need content. Any kind of content you can make. Anything. Just any kind of videos, anything, content. And I was like, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Like, you know what I mean? But I didn't understand. I mean, she was right. It was just, it became...
She was using that keyword.
Keyword. And it became less about the song, and it's more so about just your expression and getting it to that base. So now... we tell artists all the time.
Is content.
Yeah, you get more people to make content than they make actual. I've literally seen people post the making of a song that never comes out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it goes off.
And it goes off just the making of. Like, should I drop this?
Let me know. 500 comments. I'll drop it.
Exactly.
5,000 down there. I still ain't seen no song.
No chance.
Because they never finished.
That's fact.
Yeah, so you have to kind of walk that line. It's like I get I get it. You have to use it because people see music before they hear it now.
Right.
But you got to deliver on the music. But back then she was telling us that in like 2007, and I was like, what are you talking about? Like content, like we trying to rap. I ain't trying to make no videos or whatever, a blog or whatever. But that was kind of where the game was, and we were kind of on the cusp of of it changing over.
See, I like that, and the transition that's coming along with it, because I'm seeing y'all posting on IG, using live, like we got everything. We on live right now, so Little Brother has been able to transition with the times, and
Absolutely.
use the tools that we have now in order to just keep what y'all got going. And that's a beautiful thing, because a lot of artists that either stop or they be like, man, we don't need all that. We got our original fans, like, they refuse to do it.
Nah.
You gotta do it. I mean, we talked about it when we put out Made a Little Watch, and we was doing our press run.
Crazy.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
One of the things we noticed was we were made and built for podcasts.
Word.
Yeah.
That's where that was probably the best thing. That this was the first time we went ahead of the curve. Something. But that was probably the best thing for us because it allowed us to really show our personalities. It allowed us for people to actually hear us speak and not just hear us rap. It allowed us to interact with not just each other, but whoever was hosting the podcast.
And talk about life, like talk about things,
life,
like
not just. Right. Okay, so the group started in like it just
the Wikipedia notes and all that.
Listen, back in 2003. Between 2003 2005, I could have wrote every question down with the answer and just handed it to interviewers. We didn't even have to do interviews.
Really?
It was the same question over and over again.
That's nuts.
Nah, straight up. Yeah, influenced you.
How did you get your name?
Yeah.
How did y'all guys meet?
Little Brother.
Do you know Petey Pablo? Like that was it, because that was all they knew of North Carolina, and we was like, like Petey, that's big homie, but like we don't know him. Like it was just, they would just be trying to just asking questions, but it was the same questions all the time.
That's
you know
like
what I mean?
When white people had two black friends, and you'd be like,
exactly.
Do you know Mike? Like, who is Mike?
Mike,
You know how many mics there are?
Big Mike, Black Mike, Little Mike, which Mike? Like,
Mike,
yeah,
Mike.
That's a Mike.
What mic we talking about?
Nah, man, it was crazy. I mean, it was, but during that time, and we saw, going and doing May Lord Watch, the podcast that really gave us that opportunity, just to really tell our story and just to really, I think it allowed us to be seen as human, which is something that I think a lot of artists now, you very rarely get to see that, just they see the music, they see the videos, the visuals, the content or whatever, but us just talking like, yo, man, how was the pandemic for you? Man, we wasn't getting asked a question like that in 2003. No. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody cared. You know what I mean?
But it's a thin line.
Between, no, I'm playing.
that as well, but it's a thin line. Like, we don't treat our social media and things like a diary.
Okay.
That part.
Talk to me about that.
I think sometimes artists, it's like I said, it's a thin line between what you share or how much you share versus like, so we do promo and then I show other like, I'm into sports. I'm a big sports head, so I talk about sports, jokes, whatever, sometimes memes, but I don't treat it like, oh man, today was another rough one, y'all. Me and the wife was, we got into it. And I was on the couch, man. And she burned the chicken again. I might make a song about it. I might not. I don't know. 1,000 likes. I might make like
1,000 likes. I go get the chicken out.
It's like we don't treat it like, because when we were coming up, artists were mysterious.
Yeah.
You knew very little.
Right.
You only knew what you read in magazines. Right?
5 and XXL, the source drop.
Yeah.
That's it. Now you get everything, right? So I'll just speak about us. We figured out, okay, we know what we want to give them. We know what we want to hold. We know if we working on something, we worked on them records and we wouldn't, hey y'all, we working on
cooking
some
up.
records.
We cooking. Nah.
You get it when we ready, when we finish. So you gotta, for you, it's tailored for you, but you have to figure out what that line is, how much to share versus what not to share, because you can oversaturate.
Yeah, and you have to be clear, and to that point what Pooh was saying, it also, you have to kind of tailor it to your audience. You know what I'm saying? For us, our audience, they late 30s, 40s, pushing 50s. They don't have time to play a bunch of internet games. Like, give me 1,000 likes, I'll do this. Or, hey, here is the hit a pre-save on this sync. Like,
tease me about a new song for 3 weeks.
Yeah, look, dude, if the record is out,
is it here or not?
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so we always kind of made it from the standpoint, we understood that our fan base at the stage they're at in their lives now, they got different priorities. You know what I'm saying? They got kids in college. Some got kids still in grade school, whatever. They have priorities. So whenever you are coming on social media, for me, it has to be a call to action of some kind. You know what I mean? Because that may be the only time you have their attention. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to waste time to tell you about something that may be coming late. No. This may be the only time I got you. Yo, bro, the single's out right here. Go check us out.
Boom, check it out.
You know what I mean?
Waiting in the holster for you. That's all right. Ladies and gentlemen, the voices that you hear right now, the iconic North Carolinian group, global group. I'm going to stop saying that. Y'all global. And I want to talk to you about a bar that you dropped on the Minstrel Show.
For sure.
Talk about that too. But we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll check in with Little Brother in just a bit. Matter of fact, can y'all go ahead and intro this next joint? I believe it's called Glory, Glory.
Yeah, man. Glory, Glory. Shouts to my guy, Conductor Williams, man. Yeah, man. This song is not 2 weeks old. Like this is fresh. Like this is probably like, we can
last week.
Last week we actually finished it. Yeah, like
right
finished
before
it.
we dropped it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So shouts to Conductor Williams on the beat. Glory, Glory. LB.
What's up, Raleigh? This your girl, Miss Patty, hanging out here at Choice 92.1 with my baby dog.
LB Bennett.
Choice FM fam. What's happening, man? It's the one and only, the big homie DOC in the station, in the studio, Choice FM studio. We had to go ahead and open the doors for legendary global group, iconic group, We call him Little Brother.
Yes,
Fontaine,
indeed.
what's happening with you?
What's good, brother?
Big Pooh, what's happening with you?
Hey, I'm good, man. It's all good over here.
Love it. Love to hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, good voices from some good brothers. And I feel like we should start this next break off with a brief moment of silence for the late, great Percy Miracles.
Yes, man.
If you would, give me 10 seconds. I feel like that was 10. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
That was the Percy 10.
That was
Percy 10,
Percy
right?
10. He quit with it. In and out. There we go.
Oh my God.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I was personally introduced to the Percy Miracles, a song called Cheating.
Yeah,
that
man.
I remember hearing off the Minstrel Show. And about that project, I was telling y'all before we got on the air that it took me by surprise because I saw the cover and it was in my stage where I was like, I'm Afrocentric. Like, I'm looking at everything that's blackity black, y'all. And I see these three people on there with black face and white face. So I'm like, what's going on here? And then I pressed play and you took me on a journey that,
thank you so
fast
much,
forward
man.
10 years later, brought me to North Carolina to ironically bumping into Chuck at one of y'all listening parties at School Kids
Wow.
Records off NC State's.
Oh, is that on Hillsborough? Oh yeah, I know exactly where you're at.
Yes,
Right next to North Hall.
Yeah, feel me. So it was fire that you guys can bring, or your world can bring people into your orbit like that. But I wanted to talk to you about the Minstrel Show project because I think it was a Rolling Stone interview.
Might have been Rolling Stone.
I think it was Rolling Stone where you said that doing that project, you didn't necessarily feel like you were in the right space, or it wasn't the best, project that you worked on, or the at the time. I think I might be misquoting them.
That might have been me.
Okay.
Yeah, that was me. I think
It messed me up.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
during the making of that album, it was just a lot going on. We had just signed with Atlantic. For me personally, like I was trying to prove I belonged, and then just even our own group dynamics at the time, like us, we trying to figure that out.
We talk about all of this in the documentary. It's coming.
So
It's coming soon, right?
Yeah, it's coming for the end of the year. It's coming real soon.
So I'm just a professional. So the work got done, but it wasn't fun like when we made the listening. Like
nah, it was not.
The listening was fun. It was us having fun, figuring it out, and then when the Minstrel Show came. When that period came, of course there were different expectations, which didn't bother me, but it was all the other stuff that was going on, and it didn't feel fun.
Nah, it didn't feel fun no more. Nah,
big difference.
It felt like work.
Yeah,
it was and two. I mean, it was the fun part, but then also for me, it was going to a label, and I kind of had the idea of like, a label, they know what to do. Like they're gonna do whatever. And once we kind of got in it, and I just saw like, y'all are just making this up as y'all go along too.
They didn't have
Y'all are just guessing. Yeah, they didn't have a master plan. And it wasn't, it was no slight to them. Because I mean, listen, we brought them an album called The Minstrel Show. Like, how do you market that, right? So,
from a group with fans you can't
see. Right.
We got something.
Yeah, we don't know what it is. Exactly. So I mean, and at that time, that was very much at the time when we were going through, this was Warner, I think if I'm not mistaken, it was when Warner had went through like this big corporate buyout, like this big corporate reshuffling. And so all the guys that were at Def Jam were now coming into the Warner system.
Cohen, Kevin Lyles, Julie Greenwald, like they all
big hitters
had just came from the Jay-Z, DMX, Redman, Method Man, like that.
Platinum,
they had came from that over to Warner to run Warner, and then it was like, okay, we got this group with an album called The Minstrel Show, who went viral on the internet.
Yeah,
right. Okay, player, what's up?
There's something here, but we don't know what.
We don't know what it is. And so, it was just wild to see, like, man, like with you, because you're thinking they had a master plan, and they didn't. And at the time, it was very it was disappointing, and it's kind of like, man. But over years, I came to appreciate it because it just showed that everybody is out here just making it up. Like there is no, if you're the artist, you have to be the visionary for your career. And it doesn't mean you have to do it by yourself. You build your team and have people you trust around you. But you really do have to build it for yourself because you trying to explain your vision to someone else, like, nah, you just got to show them.
It won't translate.
It will not translate.
Crazy thing, like to Tay's point, like, about 10 years ago, I was in the studio with an artist. I'm not gonna name their name, big artist, and they was just asking. Like I saw the lack of confidence in choice,
Not the station.
No, not not this station.
Not the station.
But just
life choices.
them unsure of what was what. Like, is this going to be good? Will people like this? Will this be? And I'm sitting there like you don't know. Man. You have no idea. You're figuring this out too. Right. You're you. Like, this is great. And it rung off like with Tay with the label. How it rung off for me. Then like, oh man, nobody knows.
And takes a weight off of your shoulders, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Because it's like, you know, for me, it was just, even looking with the label, it was just like, man, if y'all are just guessing, I can guess by myself. Okay. I don't need to be in a 360 deal to guess.
That part.
Like, bro. You know what I mean?
Put it like that.
Y'all just could have told me you was guessing. We could have not even did this.
Yep, just cut me a check or something like that. Right. I'll figure it out.
You know, but lessons learned, man.
It was definitely a lesson learned. And like it takes, shout out to them, man. They a lot. Listen, they didn't sign us, the new regime. But they let us put out an album called The Minstrel Show, our debut album on the major label, on the date that we had. There was no pushbacks.
Word.
They cleared every sample. They did everything we asked them. Well, almost
and we turned that record in as is.
As is.
Yeah.
Like,
no changes.
No
changes.
No overheard.
Wow.
Like they would no supervision. Wow. Like we had 60% of the album done before we even signed.
Oh, come on.
And we was like, yo, this the album. And they was like, this the album? This the album. Okay.
That comes from not knowing. It was like, I guess, that's crazy.
It was like, all right. Yeah, we want to come out in September. Okay. And it came out in September.
Yeah. And the thing I am thankful for, it worked out for the best, I think, because luckily the people that we had in the building, we had, Julie, we had Kevin Lyles, he was over there. And and they were people who always, in my discussions with them, they always were pro artists. They just, and especially when talking to Kevin, he was an artist. You know what I'm saying? He was a part of the group New Marks that were the original guys that wrote Girl You Know It's True by Milli Vanilli. You know what I mean? Like he goes back that far. And so in talking to him, Kevin, right. They was lip sync. But that's a whole
different story.
But Kevin, he would just always talk about just how, he just believed in artists. And it's like, as executives, sometimes the artist may have a vision that you just don't see. You know what I mean? And you have to trust it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But you really just have to just trust the artist to do them. And that was something above all else I always respected them for and appreciated them for, because, for better or for worse, they let us do us.
Right. That's incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, the inspirational words that you are hearing are from none other than the iconic global group known as Little Brother. We got Poop, we got Fonte in the building. Now, Tay, I wanted to ask you about a question and see if it still rings off today. It's I forget the name of the song, but you have a bar in there that says, I've never heard an actor blow and go global and come back home and still be called local. Does that still feel the same? Like you still have that same feeling to this day?
Not as much now. I think, at that time when I wrote that was from Not Enough from Minstrel Show. I was 25 when I wrote that.
Oh, hello.
I think at that time, it was definitely looking for a lot of, you wanted that validation. Like you wanted that, it's like, man, like we are from here. Like we repping Durham, we repping NC. Like what is it? And, over the time, man, over years, it just kind of became a thing where I just came to understand, like, more so than being known or whatever, NC is just a place where I want to live my life.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I can go to New York, go to LA and be known. I can go to another city and people, oh my God, whatever. When I'm at home, I just want to go to the Harris Teeter and mind my business, dog.
I feel it. Go to the cookout and get my banana pudding shake, and nobody asked me.
That's right there, bro. Come on, bro. Let's go.
Listen.
So that's like the Dave Chappelle effect, kind of. Because when I told you, I came from Ohio.
Right, yeah.
When he's in Yellow Springs or in Dayton, it's like it's an everyday. We'll see him at Chipotle, see him at Best Buy. It's nothing. That's Dave. What's up? How you doing? How can we help you? But he goes everywhere else. That's
and
Dave
it's
Chappelle.
pandemonium. Yeah. Prince was the same thing. I always heard that, like from people that work with Prince. So him staying in Minneapolis, he would say, I stay in Minneapolis because the cold keeps the bad people out. Like that was his thing, he would say. And same to your thing with Dave. Like when people talk about Prince, Dave's like, yeah, you just see him riding his bike and You know,
In a blouse.
Listen, riding his bike in a
Know that
blouse,
boy.
and he's totally unbothered.
That's it.
And so over time, you know, I came to appreciate just kind of having that anonymity, you know, of just being able to just live in a place where I always grew up in, and just still able to live a regular life, and just you know, I can still just be a regular person and not have to be worried about celebrity. So it's something I embrace now.
That's incredible. Okay. Now, brothers, can you talk to me about, I've had this question, I believe Chuck J has had this question as well, the significance of a husky. I've heard that name, that city name so many times that I've looked it up on Google Maps. I've tried to drive through it when I was on the way to DC. But what's the significance of a husky?
Dude, a husky, it was just
like up in the corner.
Yeah, it's just there.
It's in the corner. I know for me the significance of a husky was we used to say, you know, I've given my life to Christ now, but we used to say that's where all the fine curly hair.
There's all the light-skinned
girls were. That's
that was the word on the yard.
That was the word. That was the word when we was at Central. That's where. That's all a husky.
All the yellow girls was a husky. Yeah. Nah, man, a husky. It was just, I don't know. I think when we were making the album, it was just, you know, we were trying to make it as NC as possible. Like we really wanted to rep where we were from, and so a husky was just one of those towns where we was just like, yo, this is the most NC thing ever. Like no one else. It was one of those references where it's like, if people outside be like, what are they talking about? But people in North Carolina are like, oh my God. Like they shouted out a husky. You know what I mean? So
and I don't think any of us have ever been there.
Yeah, I've been through there. I've been there.
Yeah, like, I've seen the signs.
Yeah. I think I went to like a fish fry in a husky like a couple years ago. Me and my wife did. Man, what? That fish was undefeated. Are you kidding me? Yeah, but
and baddies.
But nah, man, it's just a small town, and we just shouted out. It just kind of became a part of the Little Brother lore or whatever. And yeah, that was it.
I was expecting to hear some stuff like, man, we got family there. That's where the roots came from.
Nah, I just thought it was just a funny city. I was like, this is so country and black as hell. Like, yeah. We got to put this on our album.
It fit, man. So that's an Easter egg for all of our little fans out there. Absolutely. Those questions for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the one and only the big homie DOC, joined by two special guests, global artists, man, group artists. Little Brother, we got Big Pooh, and we got Fonte in the building. They have the Made in Durham Little Brother Block Party popping off October 7th. It's going down in Durham. Go ahead and get your tickets right now. LittleBrotherNC.com. We got merchandise. We got tickets. We got big performers coming through. Food trucks. Big Crit gonna be there, man. When the last time you seen Crizzle in Raleigh? Yeah. I'll tell you, it was 2019. He was at the Ritz.
He was at the Ritz. Yep.
You feel me? I was there. I seen him. Can't wait to see him again. It's gonna be a great show. You drove Crit there.
Wow. From the station. That's love.
Why wasn't I in the
And them VIPs are almost gone.
VIPs are almost gone.
You might want to go get it.
Yeah. And this is our last performance of 2023. Like people, we be seeing people like, yo, we'll see y'all when you come to songs. No, we're not coming. We're not coming. We're not coming.
We're not on tour. You gotta go on tour. Come see us.
You know they will. I'm expecting to see people from New York, all over from the West Coast. Like, y'all have fans that stretch out. I watched an interview with you and DJ Head, I believe.
Yeah.
All the way on the West Coast. I'm thinking like, how do people even know about
that's my
LB
guy
out there? Like that's crazy, bro. So the stretch and the reach. I guess the question I'll get to is like, what's the strangest fan? Like you just look at like they come up to you like, you a Little Brother fan? Like, have y'all ever experienced something like that? Like, bro, you know about
all the time.
Foreign exchange, LB, like what?
Oh, God, man.
The craziest thing we had a show in Dallas. This is 2019, and me and Tay, we would go. You know, our team would go first, and then we'll go 30 minutes before showtime. So we'll catch an Uber from the hotel. And we in the Uber.
Yeah. Okay.
And we just driving. This young lady, she driving us, and she realizes that Tay from Foreign Exchange. She's a huge Foreign Exchange fan. And so she's just talking, oh my God, I didn't even know y'all was here. He was like, well, no, I'm here with my other group, Little Brother. She was like, who?
Had never heard. Did not know.
And so she Foreign Exchange down, knew nothing about Little Brother. And I'm just sitting in the car. She was like, okay, so what do you do?
All right.
And I'm like,
this is kind of who I came in the game with.
We started together.
The foundation of everything.
So we ended up, we was like, yo, do you I know you Ubering, but do you want to come to the show? And she ended up come in, parked the car, came
That's
in with
hard.
us, and she was like, "Oh my God, I'm on Apple right now. I'm getting everything."
Yeah, that was the first time.
Ever hearing the Little Brother.
And y'all just sent her on a deep dive right
Deep
there.
dive.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Nah, man.
All she knew was foreign exchange. She was like, "I know you from foreign exchange,"
And that was it.
Tigalero.
Yeah, she knew that. Arrow. She knew that. Nah, man, it's always. God, I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, South Africa was crazy.
That's crazy,
I think of. God, man, like I remember we did a show in Estonia before. Like this was a while back. This was like 05, something like that.
Public school. What's
Estonia. So Estonia is like Eastern Europe. We went to Tallinn. We did Tallinn.
It's like it's former USSR.
Yeah, former
So it's
Soviet
at the
Union.
top.
Oh, y'all was up there with them people.
It's cold and white. Like it's just it's white.
And they brought LB up to the
Bro, and they went crazy. I couldn't believe it. It was like this club. I remember we went down. You had to walk down these stairs, and it was underground. But then you got in, and it was like these
that the
red
cave?
walls. It was like a cave joint.
Because we had restaurant in the cave or something. It was. Hey, look, man.
But
all this stuff be running together.
Yeah, but it was crazy. But they came out, and I mean, it's just one of those things where you never would think that it's like, okay, look, I'm a black man from the South,
right?
And y'all are from Estonia. What do we have in common? And the thing we have in common is hip hop.
That universal language.
It's a bridge, you know.
I mean, being in Japan, and they couldn't speak a lick of English. But when we was rapping, they was rapping every word for word.
Yeah, like Japan. Yeah, Japan audiences are crazy. Like they kind of, because it was weird too. Because also they don't clap.
No.
Like they don't look at it. They look at it like
What are you saying?
if you applaud, we're interrupting what you're doing.
That was
so they lit, bro. We on stage, and they just.
Oh.
And we just like, oh my God. I mean, you see like Pooh said, you see some kind of whatever, but they just. And we like, yo, do we suck? Like, what's going on? Whatever. And so, but then at the end of the show, they come up and they just, oh my God, you were great. We love the show. We whatever.
It's like performing in Philly.
Mic drop.
It trained us for Philly. You know what I'm saying?
Mic drop. It trained us for
Yo,
Philly. Because
that's
everybody in the
right.
audience in Philly is looking at you, trying to figure out who's better than you from Philly. Like, I love
And then
Philly.
after the show is, hey man, y'all killed it, did we?
Yeah, right. Nah,
No
Philly,
idea.
Because when I was on stage, it was
nah, Philly has always been. They make you work for it, man. They make you work for it. I love Philly, man. So
That's beautiful, man. That's a beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen. The iconic, global, worldwide, world-recognized group known as Little Brother. We got rapper Big Pooh and Fonte in the building. We are talking about all things LB. It's the LB takeover here at Choice FM Studios, and we have a very, very good reason. It's 20 years of LB, 20 years of North Carolinian hip-hop, where we introduced, don't give me, include myself in the group.
That's your
When they
name, man.
introduced y'all-
We introduced y'all.
It's us. This is a week that well, we were all introduced to hip hop, man. Via NC went ahead and paved the way for some incredible artists. You guys have inspired a nice slew of artists that I herald to be some of my favorites today, including my guy who I studied on, Kendrick, Drake. A couple of other artists that have just been giving you your flowers, giving you your props for what y'all have done. And that's incredible, especially as we're also celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip-hop as a whole. How does this all feel? Because it's kind of like a fever dream to me. I was talking to Chuck about it. It feels like at one point, or on one hand, we're celebrating all of this good stuff, but then on the other side, it feels like some people are trying to put a bow and a ribbon on this thing that we call hip-hop. Like, oh, wasn't that fun?
Yeah, right.
All right,
Wasn't that fun? Right. All right.
So
50 years is over with.
Right.
Now, thank you.
So how does this like feel for y'all celebrating so many things at once? Like, what's the air? What's the feeling in the air for you?
I would say the feeling in the air for me is gratitude. You know what I'm saying? I just really look at, in the past couple years, just the legends that we lost, from Dave, from De La, Biz, Fife
Dog,
Prince Marky D. Like,
Dilla.
just so many, just all the kind of legends we lost, to think of something lasting 50 years. I mean, first of all, hip hop, they never expected it to last this long. We talk about this, in an interview the other day where people didn't understand, like, the only reason why hip hop records or rap records got made was because record companies, it was cheaper to produce a rap record than it was to make an Earth, Wind & Fire record. You know what I'm saying? It's cheaper to send two dudes in the studio with a drum machine than it is to book Tower of Power or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A whole band, right? And so it was really just the economic thing. And a lot of the early executives, I think they kind of just thought, oh, this is a flash in the pan. It'll be like disco, it'll be whatever. No one expected it to last as long as it has. Right. And so I think, when I think of hip hop, I really look at it like that guy that was in the streets wilding and thought he would be dead at 19, but now he's 45, and it's like, what in the hell? I did not expect to last as long.
I wasn't even
like, I don't even know what to do with my time now.
401k, what the hell?
Right. Arthritis. What is arthritis?
Insurance? Oh my god.
Not right. Like, no, listen. And the thing is with hip hop, it's just like with life. Getting old is expensive. Getting old costs money. You know what I'm saying? And so with hip hop, as it gets older, I think it becomes more taxing for us, and it becomes more important for us to uphold it and like to really curate it and to really take care of it and really tend to that garden, because if we don't do it, no one else will. I was having a conversation with my boys telling me, Do It All from Lords. You know what I mean? Big ups to him.
Councilman Dupree.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He's a councilman now.
Councilman Dupree Kelly.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Newark. Yeah.
Wow.
Nah, man, dude was doing it. But he was talking about a conversation he had, and dude was like, yo, man, Hip Hop 50, we should have been planning this like 2-3 years ago. But, it was pandemic. So, no one was thinking about it. But, even with us doing our 20th year celebration, just the amount of planning and the amount of oversight that it takes in order to get it off. I mean, these are things that, they take a long time to set up. And the biggest thing it's taught me is that for our music, for our culture, we have to celebrate it. The same way, like I remember a homie of mine, we were talking about like Nas, they had put out like the 20th anniversary of Illmatic or whatever. Yeah. And they was like, man, but he just put out another one, and then they did the 25th anniversary. I'm like, listen, bro.
Every 5, every 10.
Listen, bro. If Fleetwood Mac can put out Rumors for 40 years, a box set,
deluxe remastered with a t-shirt.
We need the same thing. Our music deserves that same level of quality, that same level of craftsmanship. You know what I mean? But we're the ones that have to do it. And that was, I think, was the biggest lesson for me and Pooh. We was like, we got 20 years in this. It's so many brothers and sisters that we came in the game with that are no longer here, that, that didn't last that 20. And not even just didn't make it in the music business, they ain't make it in life. You know what I mean? So for us to still be here 20 years, still healthy, still vibrant, still, with our families, like still, creatively on, better than we ever have been. Right. This is something that we have to celebrate, and just to show gratitude of like, yo, man, we made it. You know what I mean? And so that's the energy that I'm on. Just really just gratitude and just thankful that we were able to stand the test of time.
Appreciation. Come on now. What about you, Pooh? How you feeling?
Same, man. I was listening on the way up here yesterday. I was listening.
Shout out to the listening.
Wasn't listening to the listening.
I cringe at that album.
Yeah. I was listening to DJ Kaz and Shyrock on. They got a radio show, and they was talking about Corrupt and how Corrupt was like, man, I think it's coming back. Like and they was like, what's coming back? He was like, how this year has shown, like if you actually take care of the culture and you not do it for the culture, but take care of the culture, that you can still have the success, you can still have all of the things. Because as you can see, like the shows that's going off right now are the shows with
the vets.
True.
The
Force Tour, like
50, his 20th anniversary, Get Rich or Die Trying.
Yeah, like those
is crazy.
Those are the shows that's really going off. Yeah. Because the vets, actually take pride in certain things that younger generations take for granted. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of them things where Corrupt's whole thing was like, after the 50 years are over, so once we move into 2024, we have to keep this same energy though. Like we can't just celebrate it this year and then move on. And that's the approach Tay and I are taking. Like with Little Brother's legacy is like, once we came out of the pandemic, we got the plan during the pandemic, but once we came out of the pandemic, we said, okay, this is the way we want to move. This is the way we want to not only protect, but uphold our legacy and curate our legacy. And you got to take that control over your own legacy. And if by us doing that, hopefully it shows other artists how to do it or that they can do it, and then that's how you start to slowly change.
That's how you change the culture.
Is by showing, not by telling. Like, nah, see, we went and did a block party. We don't like the way, promoters and club owners are treating us.
What they done did to the game.
Yeah, what they did to they done 360 the touring game. You know what I'm saying? So we don't like that. So let me show you how we going counteract that.
Gotcha.
Spending the whole year to do an album and people want something new after a week. We're gonna show you how to counteract that. Like, so all these different things we're doing, and we just as popular now as we was then.
Even more so, yeah.
Because you have more generations being turned on. Like you said, the fan base are having kids of their own now, so they like doing what our parents did with us. Like, let me show you what some real music is.
I got so many people who come up to me and be like, man, my pops or my moms put me on to y'all.
Which makes you feel like 70. Of course. But it's beautiful, you know what I mean?
It shows, that's two generations right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, and that's the thing too now of this kind of the beauty, I think, of just being able to stay in the game. And I tell artists all the time, man, like this is a long game. Like people, the days of thinking of music as like a lottery ticket, you know what I'm saying? It's not really that no more. It's no longer a lottery ticket. You got to think of it like real estate.
It's a stock.
Yeah, it's a stock. Yeah. It's like, yo, I'm buying stock in Johnson & Johnson or something. You know what I mean?
That's where it's just ideas take. That's one of my millions. Go ahead. Go.
Okay,
keep on.
Nah, bro. It's just it's really something where it's like you just have to like make the best music you can make and then just stay the course. Because if you stay the course after that 10, 20 years, it's like that thing that you worked on, it's been building interest over all these times. Right. You know what I mean? And so for us, it was just really important, just to let artists know, like, listen, man, do this at your own pace. You know what I'm saying? Because that's sustainable. And that was something that we learned, when we started seeing, when Drake went off and like Kendrick and all these guys that were like fruit of our tree. And people come to me like, man, don't you feel like you should be there and you need to do that? And they took it. And it's just like, listen, bro, let me be very clear with y'all. I got about 2 weeks of Draking in me. Like I could be Drake for about 2 weeks, about I'm like 14 calendar days. You know what I mean? Not even business week, no calendar days. I got about 14 days of Draking, and after that, I'm taking my ass to the house, cuz.
That's it.
Like I ain't got it. I'm
on the DJ quick. I just want the money.
I don't need to be fame. Yeah. I just want to make what I want to make. Cook up with my brother. We put it out. We do it, and I'm going home. It's over. Like we're not, and because that's something that's sustainable for us. That was something that I can be Drake, Kanye. I can be them for about 2 weeks. I can be Fonte all day.
Can't be Mixie past 2 weeks.
Nah, cuz I got 14 good days for you.
Yeah, True Colors start coming out, bro. Hey,
listen. Like for real.
For real.
And shout out to LaRussell from out of Vallejo. Because
yeah. Big ups.
That stock approach is the approach he's taking with his audience, and they're investing in him, but they're sharing in the dividends.
Exactly.
And so shout out to him, man, because that's
a new business model.
That was outside the box thinking. That approach he took and is working for him. He's thriving. You know what I mean? I saw a thing where he was like, he had a couple shows and he was like, yo, y'all, these my last ones. Other than this, you're gonna have to come to the pergola. You're gonna have to come to the backyard.
Pull up on him.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pull up on me now. That's my
You said you weren't losing $1,500.
Nah.
Right. And listen, let me be clear. In this business, if all you lose is $1,500, you did pretty damn good.
That was a good day.
You know what I mean?
That's a good day.
Because it could be so much worse.
For real.
It could be 15,000.
Yeah, right. Commas and zeros galore.
Listen, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're speaking with legends here in the building and inspirators. We got Little Brother, North Carolina's very own, the world hip hop's very own, North Carolina's.
Yes, indeed.
Little Brother in the building. We got rapper Big Pooh. We got Tay in the building. We talked about our experiences. We talked about the past, the difference between making projects, being signed, being unsigned, having fun, making the first project, the listening. We're celebrating 20 years of that in the flesh, October 7th, 300 block of East Main Street in Durham, North Carolina. Pull up to the Bull. Come and see some legends in the flesh, ladies and gentlemen. We got Pooh and Tay of Little Brother. We got Big Crizzle on the lineup. Who else we got performing?
Cool Kids. Zoe and Tall Black
Donna with
Guy.
the Black Mag. Let's go.
Yeah, shout out to Chuck and Mickey, man.
Zoe and Tall Black Guy, and we got DJs Wally Sparks and Hourglass. and Sam J, comedian Sam J. Host.
Yeah, who also her show. Yeah,
make sure y'all check out her special September 23rd. That's this Saturday.
What?
Yeah, HBO.
She got the new special coming out.
Let's go. Okay, Sam, I see you. Let's go, man.
Yeah, Sam is family, man. Like this whole thing, it's really like these are our people. You know what I mean? This is, it's not like, we tried to get, let's get the biggest name. Like, these is our people.
We got people we rock with.
Yeah.
What's her special? Salute Me or Shoot Me. That's her special.
Yeah, that's Sam J. Salute Me or Shoot Me.
You better come out hard with that one.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go, man. Congratulations to all of the incredible things that are going on in you guys' lives, the transitions that you've been through, the resets that we talked about earlier. I feel like the trajectory that y'all are headed on is just unstoppable. And I feel if you didn't see that back in 2003 or don't see it today, then I mean, y'all, you're blind, bro. Y'all incredible, bro.
Thank you, man.
For real, as a tandem, solo in your own projects, in your own ventures, killing it.
Thank you,
and
brother.
then when you come back and then give us some new joints like the two that you just dropped on us, the A side and the B side, I'm excited for the future.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I think we are too. Finally, I mean, it's a lot of times you can kind of get. Yeah, well, not finally, but I think we can. We get to a point
we can see things.
Yeah.
Now, like we couldn't see before. It was murky.
Got you.
But
the vision is a little clearer.
Oh man,
we in the Caribbean waters right now.
You can see the toes through that water.
We in the Caribbean waters, baby. You can see the sand at the bottom.
Take a sip.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
That's all right. Ladies and gentlemen, man, Black Excellence is in the building. Little brother here in the flesh. Anything you folks want to leave the listeners with before we head up out of here?
Man,
just
thank y'all for all the years of support, whether it's year 1 or year 20.
Yeah.
Just thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. Hope to see y'all in Durham, October 7th.
LittleBrotherNC.com. Get your tickets.
Get your tickets.
May the Lord watch the Little Brother story that's coming soon. We'll be announcing, having more info.
Sooner than you think.
Sooner than you think, yeah. This documentary is coming.
Waiting.
Yeah.
And of course, Glory, Wish Me Well, all streaming services and Bandcamp right now. So go check that out and catch us online because you won't catch us in another city.
Nah, sir. You got to pull up to the bull. You hear me? Ladies and gents, it's the one and only, the big homie DOC, joined by Little Brother right here on the People Station. Tay, say peace to the people.
Peace to the people.
Peace to the people. Peace. We out of here. Choice FM. Kick back, relax. It's the DOC on the People Station. For the next 5 minutes, let's go ahead and jump into this medley that I created for my guys. LB right here on the People Station. Let's go.
No matter who you are.
What's the deal? You're truly the magnificent DJ Jazzy Jeff, and you are hanging with my main man, DOC, right here on the ones and twos. Now let's go get some garbage. Get this.